2, 2. Everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. Thanks for joining me. This week's featured lesson, I've got a classic tune here, Little Sadie in the key of D minor, and probably made most famous by Doc Watson and Tony Rice, two flat pickers I certainly admire very much. And that first arrangement I created is kind of more in the Doc style there, straight ahead melody, you know, with a few little triplet things that he likes to do. But yeah, all in all, kind of staying true to the melody there. And then the second arrangement, I did more of an improvised solo over top of, you know, all the changes in the key of D minor. And I mean, I had to write it out, but I'm going to show you what I was doing while I was improvising. And what I mean by that is a lot of people ask me, you know, do you have scales with your lessons? Do you talk about what you're doing? And so I got enough requests. I wanted to do that for this lesson. So there'll be a separate clip about the scales I'm using, what I was thinking while I was writing the arrangement, and how I approached it. Talk about landing on, you know, certain notes as the chord changes, the 1, 3, or the 5, as the, you know, if I'm landing on C or A7, what notes I'm going to land on in that scale. And I'm going to be using the F scale up here. A lot of times I'll be using the F scale, but landing on a D note sometimes, and we'll talk about that for the improvising. Certainly in-depth stuff. Okay, we'll play it up here. Okay, so we're going to talk about using that F scale to improvise and what I was thinking about when I wrote the arrangement there. So, and I add a little Tony Rice lick at the end, or, you know, just he does something in Manzanita that I really like, and was able to catch a little bit of it where I manipulate then the scale, but that's even more in depth. So again, all in all, about 60 minutes of video, because I also include a rhythm lesson, because it has some short measures in the rhythm, and it can be kind of tricky, kind of like bounces around a little quick, and if you haven't worked on it or tried it, it can just be a little tricky on the brain to play the rhythm to. So I broke down the rhythm lesson, and we'll talk about counting out the measures and so forth, and what everything means with the short measure, right? So I got all that. So again, probably right around 60 minutes of video and PDF tabs and 4 backing tracks to kind of work your speed up. So if you click the link above or below, it'll shoot you on my website, and there you can purchase the full-length version, as this is just a preview here. And if you really enjoy the way I teach my song selection and how I approach learning, you can learn about being a member at my site for a yearly or monthly fee. Access my library of over 300 video lessons. I come out with one each week, and do a lot of stuff like this, a lot of bluegrass, country, old time, guitar, you know, a lot of solos, got beginner courses. You can submit videos for review. So a lot of cool features over there. For now, we're going to start walking through this lesson a little bit, and I'm bringing the camera on in. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. All right, so let's go ahead and start breaking down Little Sadie here in the key of D minor. And remember, any markings on the bottom of the staff are going to be right hand pick directions, so pay very close attention to those. Anything in little numbers above the staff are going to be left hand fingerings, which there will be a few in order to kind of execute some of the moves in the arrangement. And also too, I'm going to have a separate video about the scale that I'm using to compose this lesson. I get a lot of requests about, do you do lessons with scales? What scale are you using? What are you thinking about when you're writing? And I did have a really cool scale in mind, and, well, I guess cool is what I think. And it's going to be an F major scale that you're going to play over top of the D minor. So there'll be an extra video clip of me just playing the scale. Okay, and I'll have one down in first position too. Okay, and I'll talk about how I'm like mixing an F major scale and adding some more blues notes or some minor notes as well, okay? So for now, I'm going to go ahead and start walking through this arrangement. And yeah, so here's the first two measures. I got the first measure is like a pickup into the beginning of the tune. So, and it goes like this. So 1, 2, ready, go. Ready, go. And if you notice too, it like in measures 2 and measure 2, it says 2/4. Then it says the next measure says C or common time, which means 4/4, and the next measure is 2/4 again. So we don't have to worry about that too much for the solo. Okay, so we do have some short measures. Yes, that's the deal with Little Sadie, is there's a few short measures and it kind of hops around, and it's kind of tricky in a way, in that way, and playing rhythm is more where we'll focus on that. So I'll have another video again on how to play the rhythm, and we'll talk about the short measures and how to count them out and work through them. But all in all, though, really you don't have to worry about it too much when you're playing the solo. Oddly enough, you can, as long as you just play what's written, you're going to be fine. And we'll talk about more in depth about the short measures, how they're played, and what's going on. Again, we have some short measures, right? 2/4 is only 2 beats in that measure. And then we go to common time, 4/4, goes back to 4 beats, and then goes back to 2 beats, and back to the next measure 5 will be common time again. So, yeah. So the first little pickup is it's actually 2 half notes. I kind of like it. There's several ways we could pick up into this, but and I just really like the way that kind of created some tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get into the more eighth notes here. 2, 0, hammer on the 2, and then up on the B. Okay, then we get to the next measure, and we're going to do over top of the F. I'm going to go first fret on the B, so 2 quarter notes there actually. And then we have our first little triplet here, and then it's 0, 2, 0 on the G string. So hammer, pull. Triplet, bicycle. Okay, this is the kind of the phrases I use. And I'm going to play this F note here on the 3rd fret of the D. And then the next measure we'll play open D, and then I'm going to do a strum on a D minor chord. And I'm using my pinky on the B string. You can use your 3rd finger on the B string too. Either one will totally work. I have a tendency to use my pinky with the D minor, so I had this 3rd finger available a little bit. Triplet. So let's play all 4 of those measures in context a little bit. Already go. Okay. Maybe instead of the hammer on the first and the second measure, you could just pick it. Okay. So in this piece, there's lots of places where you could choose to hammer on or pull off. Or you could replace it and get more of just picking sound. And sometimes that's cooler. Sometimes I like that. It's kind of up to you, but I'm going to do what's written, of course. All right. Let's move on to the next few measures. And we get over top of the C chord. It sounds like this. So I got a 0, 2. I'm gonna get over the C, so I may finger my C chord. just in case I hit some wrong notes, then I'll be all right, so to speak. But 1 and 2 and G, G. So there's a little tie in there, okay? You see the little note in parentheses? That means it's tied, and I'm not going to pluck it, okay? 1 and 2 and. So I plucked up on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and then I have 2 quarter notes on the G string. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then I'm gonna get in the next measure, a little triplet here. 0, 1, 0 on the D string. Hammer, pull, triplet. So 3 notes with 1 pluck. Then 3rd fret A, then open A. And then I'm going to strum an A7, which is almost like a C, right? If you look at the screen, I got the C chords here. I take my 3rd finger off, and that's an A7, A minor 7. Okay? So, and your hand should be already in that position or very close to it. It should be hovering above it. I guess it'll come out a little bit since I got to do that triplet. But right here it should be getting back into the shape. And then this next measure is all on the A string. So 0, 3 hammer on the A. And then there's another tie there, so it's kind of the same rhythm as measure 5 a little bit. 2, and then open A on the upstroke, and then A string again, quarter note on the 3rd fret, and then 2 8th notes on that 3rd fret. So that measure, ready, go. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and go now. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so let's put all 4 of those 3 of those measures together. Ready, go. 2 again, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're still trying to master the triplets, once you get up to speed, they're kind of like this little, just really almost like a flick in a way, like triplet. And you gotta make sure to land on that next note after the triplet. Okay, so they will be very quick when played up to speed. You play at that high tempo, and it will, be quick. I'm gonna play all the first 7 measures we've covered. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there it is. So let's move on to the next few measures. 2.